What is up guys, my name is Ignas, welcome back to the channel. Today I want to bring up and do a dividend comparison on 3 asset management names from the financial sector. So the first one will be BlackRock, ticker symbol BLK. This year the stock is not doing great, and the year to date it is down for 34.36%. Similar performance in 1 year, lower for 31.75%, but they did show some progress in 5 years, going from $420 in 2017 to almost $600 in 2022, higher for 42.31%. With the stock going lower recently, the market cap went under $100 billion to $90.66 billion, but that means that the dividend yield was moving higher, now at 3.26%. So I already have a position in BlackRock, but now I want to put that against other asset management names. So the second name is Bank of York Mellon, ticker symbol BK. Performance is similar to BlackRock. On the year to date the stock is down for 28.71%. 1 year's performance is a bit better, only lower for 15.98%. Unfortunately, going further out doesn't help much, as in 2017 the stock was trading closer to $50 per share, and in 5 years it went down for 16.40% to $41.50. This company's market cap is just under $34 billion, so it is almost 3 times smaller than BlackRock, but they are paying a similar dividend, which is now at a yield of 3.26%. The third name we'll take is T Rowe, ticker symbol TROW. This year's performance is the worst, where the stock is down for almost 50% at minus 44.47, very similar in 1 year, minus 43.81%. But it turned out that if we zoom out to 5 years, in 2017 the stock was trading at $73.35 and increased 47.57% to $108 per share. This pick is the smallest out of the 3 at a market cap of $24 billion, but they are paying the largest dividend, now at a yield of 4.43%. So these will be the 3 names that we will be comparing today. And to make that happen, let's go into Google Sheets. So the tickers are in the table, and we'll use 5 different metrics for this comparison: dividend yield, dividend payout ratio, years of consecutive dividend increases, next year's estimated 5-year compound annual growth rate, and then how far the current dividend yield is away from its 5-year average. The best company in each metric will earn a point, then we'll sum the results up, and the stock with the most points will be considered the winner of this comparison. I hope that it all made sense so far, so let's start. So the first metric that we'll take is the dividend yield. It is calculated by picking the annual dividend per share and dividing it by the share price. BlackRock is now paying an annual dividend of $19.52 per share, and at the current price of $589 per share, that is a dividend yield of 3.30%. Switching to Bank of York Mellon, they are paying $1.36 on an annual basis, and with a price of $41.31, that is a yield of 3.27%. For the T Rowe, their dividend is at $4.80, so at a price of $106.75, this makes it a dividend yield of 4.47%. Now second metric will be the dividend payout ratio. The percentage shows how much of company's earnings are paid back to investors as dividends. Here we are looking for a lower percentage, meaning that they would still have plenty of cash available to reinvest or increase on those dividends. So in BlackRock's case, the dividend payout ratio is at 44.98%, meaning that just under 50% of their earnings are paid back to investors. Bank of York Mellon has the payout ratio at 25.78%, so they are assigning just over 1/4 of their earnings for dividends. And then for T Rowe, the payout ratio is at 44.05%, close to a half of earnings, but still just a bit lower than BlackRock. Third metric is the years of dividend increases. The number shows for how many years the company have increased dividends for at least 1 quarter every year. So in BlackRock's case, they have been increasing dividends for 14 years straight. Now Bank of York Mellon seem to have a similar strategy, where they have been increasing dividends for at least 1 quarter every year for 11 years. But now for T Rowe we have the best surprise, where they have been consecutively increasing dividends for 36 years. Metric number 4 is the compound annual dividend growth rate. We will take the average of 5 years, including next year's estimate. So in BlackRock's case, 5-year dividend growth rate is at 10.18%. Now for Bank of York Mellon, dividend increases will be slowing down to 5.51%. And then for T Rowe, we have the dividend growth rate just a bit higher at 11.38%. Now the last metric looks to be the most complex, but to me it's also the most interesting one. How far the current dividend yield is away from its 5-year average. To answer that, we'll use my dividend investing watchlist on Google Sheets. So here we have the tab for BlackRock and the history for the dividend yield for each quarter of the last 5 years. Out of this information we calculate that on average in 5 years the dividend yield was at 2.29%. So there was a decent time to get in back in 2018 with a dividend yield of 2.99%, higher than the 5-year average for 30.81%, and then the worst time was in the middle of 2021 with a yield of 1.7%, below average for 25.63%. But interestingly enough, we now have the dividend yield at 3.16%, which is now highest it has been in 5 years, 38.25% over that 5-year average. So this is here the number that we most be interested in. Now let's open Bank of York Mellon. We also have the 5-year dividend yield history, and on average in 5 years the dividend yield was at 2.45%. So worst time to get in was way back in 2017, where the dividend yield was at 1.53%, under average for 37.58%, and the best time was by the end of 2020, with a yield of 3.44%, over average for 40.45%. But if we take the stock right now, where it's trading at a dividend yield of 3.18%, it is quite there over average for 29.75%. Now last one is T Rowe, and for this one on average in 5 years the dividend yield was at 2.9%. So worst time to get in was in 2018, with a dividend yield of 2.04%, under average for 29.56%, and best moment was in 2022, where the yield was at 5.35%, over average for 84.73%. But buying into the stock right now with a yield of 4.18%, we are still getting it way over average at 44.33%. Now if you would be interested in getting access to all my Google Sheets documents, you are able to do that by following the first link at the top of the description. Otherwise, feel free sharing tickers you are interested in a comment below, and I'll consider adding them into my dividend investing watchlist here. Maybe there are some interesting opportunities out there that I'm still missing. So we have finished looking through all those metrics, and the numbers for each are now in. Now let us start assigning points. So for the best dividend yield percentage, first one goes to T Rowe with 4.47%. Lowest payout ratio percentage is Bank of York Mellon at 25.78%. Then for years of consecutive dividend increases, a point goes to T Rowe with 36 years. Compound annual 5-year dividend growth rate with 2023 goes to T Rowe with 11.38%. And dividend yield over its 5-year average again to T Rowe at 44.33%. We can sum up the results. So BlackRock had 0 best numbers out of the 5. Bank of York Mellon got 1 with the lowest dividend payout ratio, and then lastly T Rowe was best in 4 metrics out of 5, so with a sum of 4 points, TROW is considered the winner of this comparison. And that was it. Make sure to support the channel and leave a thumbs up under the video. Which financial stock are you most interested in? Share your preferred pick in a comment below. If you would be interested in getting access to my dividend investing watchlist, then consider memberships. By becoming a member, you will get access to Discord, where I share all my Google Sheets documents and all the buys and sells exactly when I do them. This could be a great option to track my moves closely. Previously, I've looked into several other companies, so if you would be interested in any of these, then click on a video that is currently on the screen. And that was it from my side. Thank you for watching, and I will be seeing y'all in the next one.